morning, world. The live is on. Let me get my comment pinned. As y'all coming in, checking in the comments, let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know where you're checking in from. As y'all coming into the comments, we're gonna get started quickly. We'll go about 20 minutes here today. I got a call right after this. Check yourselves in the comment section. Tell me your name. Tell me where you're checking in from. We're going to get into it in a minute. Milwaukee is in the house. Shout out to Milwaukee. New York is in the house. Shout out to New York. Is it back to regular in New York yet? I can't visit New York till y'all get back to regular. New York's looking crazy right now from what I'm seeing on the internet. But shout out to New York. I still love New York, but I'm going to stay down here in Miami till I hear that the coast is clear in New York. As a matter of fact, actually, I can't come back to New York till like April of next year because it's too cold. I like when it's like 80 degrees and up. If it's less than 80 degrees, I don't want to go to that place unless somebody has paid me or it's a funeral. Other than that, unless it's for money or a funeral, I ain't going nowhere where the temperature's lower than 80 degrees. That's maybe 70. I could deal with 70 for the right occasion, for the right situation. But as y'all are checking in, hope everybody's doing great. Aswan, what's going on? He's in South Florida, so 80 degrees is what I'm talking about. Shout out to the people where it's 80 degrees or more. Today is nice. Now, see, the thing is, if you're saying that, I know you're in a place where it ain't always nice. Because, here, we don't have to say today is nice. This is a normal thing where we at. But shout out to everybody in New York. Shout out to Philly, my hometown. Shout out to everybody else, even in the places where it's cold. Milwaukee, for example. New York, another example. Oklahoma City, another example. Miami, it's summertime here all year round. We get summer all year round. So we get probably about 3 weeks every year where it's like 60 something. That's our winter. So it's about 60 something for like 3 weeks. Other than that, you're looking at 70 and up every day. That's why I moved here. That's why I came here. The number one reason. So for those of y'all who know me, my name is Dre Baldwin. I'm a former 9-year pro athlete. I'm the author of 33 books, including this book right here called The Third Day. This is my latest book. If you're going to get one book from me, get my latest one. That's this one. People always ask me, Dre, what's your favorite book? It's the last one. So this is the latest one. Get this book right here if you don't have it already. I'll tell you about this later, maybe. And I created this whole framework, business, and system. It's called Work on Your Game. It's all about how you show up and give your best effort when you least feel like it. And that's what the third day is about. But the work on your game is all about, bigger than that, is how you take all the tools that I learned as a pro athlete and how do you apply those at work and how do you apply them in everyday life. That's what this whole system, this whole work on your game, the whole thing, everything work on your game is about. Whether it's a system, is a book, is a course, whether it's me doing one of these lives, it's taking the stuff that you need as an athlete, what you must do as an athlete, and how you apply those in the business world and how you apply them in everyday life. So today we're going to talk about a specific topic underneath of all of that, which is why people self-sabotage. So has anybody here in the comments ever felt like you had something that you knew you wanted to do and you had all the positive intentions to do it, but for whatever reason, you kept kind of shooting yourself in the foot and messing up your own stuff? Like you took one step forward, but 2 steps back. Any of you ever felt like that? Like you wanted to do the right thing and you had a general idea of what the right thing was, but for whatever reason, you kept not doing the right thing. You kept doing like stuff that was kind of hurting you and you're looking at yourself in the mirror or you're getting frustrated with yourself. Like, wait, why do I keep doing stuff to mess up my own opportunities? All right. So many of you know this feeling. Let's just put it that way. Well, what I want to do today is I'm going to break down why that happens, why people self-sabotage. And maybe while we're talking about this, maybe some of you could figure out what you could do to kind of counteract this. All right. So some people say, so I got yes. I got the story of my life. All right, so let's talk about it. Why do people self-sabotage? First of all, let's get a definition of the word sabotage. It means to deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct. So why would any human being, this is the question that we're going to ask here today, why would any human being who has positive intentions of success deliberately destroy or damage their own chances of success? That doesn't make any sense, but a bunch of you said that you've done this before. So I'm interested to know if anything I'm going to share here today sounds like maybe something that is causing your issue. And many of these things are going to be subconscious, meaning they're not things that you're purposely doing. Because I don't think any of you who said yes to my question would try to mess up your own success on purpose. But there are some things that are happening underneath your conscious thinking, meaning things that you're not aware that you're thinking them, but you are thinking them. Because you saw the reel that I posted about mindset a couple of days ago, that 85% of our thoughts are habitual and unconscious. So you're not even aware that you're thinking them, but you are thinking them. And that's 85% of our thoughts are unconscious stuff. It's stuff that we don't even know about. So if you can fix that 85%, don't even matter what you're consciously thinking about, because that's only 15%. You can fix the 85%, that'll change everything. So let's get into it. Number one reason why people self-sabotage is because your words and your beliefs are in conflict. Your words and beliefs are in conflict. In other words, you say you want to do one thing, but you believe a different thing. So let me give you an example of this. Words and beliefs being in conflict would be like a person who is not in shape saying, hey, I want to get in shape. I want to lose weight. I want to be healthy, and I want to live longer, and I want to eat all the right foods, and I want to go to the gym every day, and I want to have 6-pack abs. I want to look good next summer. That's what they're saying, right? But then you look at their actions, and their actions are what? They're watching Netflix all day. They're eating ice cream. They're eating cake. They're not taking care of their body. They got a gym membership, but they never actually go to the gym. They aren't drinking any water. They're drinking soda and beer and alcohol. So they're saying they want to do one thing, but then you look at their actions, they're doing the complete opposite. And this is the kind of person who, if you know somebody like this, you're looking at them like, yo, you keep saying all this stuff, but you're doing the opposite of what you're saying. So which one is it? Well, let me answer that question. Here's the one that it is what they actually do. If you want to know what somebody is about, don't listen to the words coming out of their mouth. Watch their feet and look what they do. Look at the actions that they take. You want to know what you're about, don't base it off of what you say, base it off of what you do. Because as the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. Everybody has heard that before, right? If you want to know what somebody thinks, now notice my words here. You want to know what somebody thinks, listen to them talk. All right, so right now I'm showing you what I think by you listening to me talk. I'm just talking and telling you what's on my brain, because you have to consciously think about things usually in order to say them. If you want to know what somebody believes, watch their feet, watch their actions. There's a difference between thoughts and beliefs. Thoughts are what we consciously control. I can control what I'm thinking, at least in terms of what comes out of my mouth, because I can choose my words. By the time we get to about age, 8 years of age, we pretty much can control what we say. We can say anything. This is why any of you has a child, or any of you has a little brother or little sister who's around that age, like before they even hit age 10, kids can start telling lies. All right, you ever had a 7-year-old tell you a lie? All right, because we all learn how to control our words at a very early age. So by the time somebody's 27 or 35 or 52, we learn how to control our words and get people to think that we think a certain thing, even though we're not telling the truth. Any of you had anybody lie to you this year? Anybody in 2022, you had somebody tell you a lie? Of course you have, because we get good at controlling our words, and we can get people to think that we think certain things. If you want to know what somebody believes, look at what they do. Look at their actions. So if you have ever seen somebody say one thing but do a different thing, this is what I'm talking about. Their thoughts and their beliefs are in conflict, or their words and beliefs, rather, are in conflict. And this is why people self-sabotage, because they believe that they can't get in great shape, but they think that they can. Those are two different things. They think they can do it, so they say, I'm going to do all the right stuff. I'm going to go to the gym. Call me tomorrow. I'm going to work out at 8 in the morning with you. I'm going to use my gym membership all the time. I'm going to start eating more healthy and all that. They say all the right stuff, right? But then tomorrow at 8 o'clock, you call them like, yo, let's go to the gym now, answer the phone, right? They're supposed to be working out. They don't do it. They're supposed to give you an accountability report of how they're taking care of their body. They're not doing it. Or this is a person who says, no, I want to make more money. But then when it comes time for them to do the stuff that's going to help them make money, they won't take the action. So that's when your words and beliefs are in conflict. This is the number one reason people self-sabotage, is because their beliefs are going against their beliefs that are underneath. That's like the foundation of how we think and feel, is those underlying, that foundational way of thinking is in conflict with what's on the surface. And here's what y'all need to understand. The stuff that's on the surface, your beliefs, are much stronger than your conscious thoughts. This is very important. When what you are consciously thinking is in conflict with what you have laid as a foundation, then whatever you're constantly thinking will never come to life. You got to get your conscious thoughts to be in sync with what's on the foundation, which means sometimes you got to change that foundation. So here's another example. If you grew up around, let's say you want to make a lot of money. Let's talk about money, because this is one that everybody can relate to, because everybody needs money on some level. Food, clothing, shelter. Even if you're not driven by money, everybody needs it on some level. So if you were raised around people who didn't really have money, let's say your family didn't really have money, you come from the hood, you come from an impoverished background, you come from a lower class background, your parents were broke, they didn't really have money, you were around a bunch of adults who lived check to check. All right, if you come from that kind of environment, then your mental foundation when it comes to money, your beliefs are probably on the same level of the adults who were around you growing up, because who else were you going to learn from? You didn't have any other resources but those people around you. So your beliefs are based in that. So if you go and you listen to somebody talking prosperity, they're talking about, hey, you can make $100,000 a year, or you can make $1 million in a month, or you can be rich, and you can be financially well off, and you can be completely debt free, and you can make all the money you want to make and do whatever you want to do financially, and you don't have to worry about if you'll be able to afford anything. Just do whatever you want financially. And you're listening to them talk. Let's say you're at an event and somebody's talking like that from the stage, and they give an hour-long speech talking about all this stuff. It sounds great, right? They're a good speaker. It sounds pretty good. You're all excited about all these things you want to do, and they might even sell you a course or a book or some kind of program, or get you to join their coaching program or something like that, because they got you all excited in the moment, because your thoughts are saying, that makes sense. That sounds good. That's what I want. Here's the problem. As soon as you leave the room, now those thoughts that you just had implanted in your mind for 60 minutes are going against the beliefs that you've had implanted in your subconscious for the last 25 years. So which one is going to win? The 60 minutes that you just heard from the stage or on somebody's webinar, or that you read in a chapter in a book, or the 37 years of conditioning that was planted in your mind by the people that you grew up with and has been stuck in your subconscious your entire adult life? Which one do you think is going to win? The 60 minutes or the 37 years? Now, we all know the answer to that question. The stuff that's implanted in your subconscious is going to win. So this is why, as I talked about in that reel that I posted the other day, you need to go to work on your subconscious, not on your conscious. Many people only think on the conscious level because you're not even aware of the subconscious. That's why I wrote my book called The Mental Workbook, which is this book right here. I wrote this book specifically to help people program your subconscious mind. This book will help you program what's going on in the 85%. That's the stuff down here, the foundation. That's like the concrete. You can't really change concrete. And if you try to break concrete with your feet, you can't do it. All right. So to change what's happening in the concrete, the foundational level, you need this book right here called The Mental Workbook. You can get this at workonmygame.com/workbook. And this is where the stuff that's in your subconscious mind can help you work in sync with what's in your conscious mind. But in order to program your subconscious mind, I'll give you a secret as to what's in that book. You need a daily set of disciplines to help you program the subconscious. This is not something that happens in 30 minutes. It's something that you do every single day consistently, so that over time you start to change your subconscious mind. All right. The way you change your subconscious mind is by daily disciplines. The same way you change anything. You need a daily set of disciplines. So this means over time, as you change what's going on in your subconscious, it can be in sync with what you're consciously thinking. And now you can start to get the results that you want. This is the reason why many people self-sabotage. They don't even realize why they're doing it. You're not doing it on purpose. Again, you're not trying to be a failure on purpose, simply because you don't know what you don't know. Number two, we were talking why people self-sabotage. People came in the middle here, is that you don't really want the things that you're supposedly working for. The reason why this happens, that they claim that they're working for something, but they're not actually going after it. Tyree, what's going on, my man? And the reason why people say they want one thing, but they don't really want it, is because socially, human beings are social creatures. So we usually claim to be or appear to be going after stuff that seems acceptable, socially acceptable. So this is any of you who grew up with parents that really wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer, or they wanted you to get a certain type of job, or they wanted you to marry a certain type of person, or they wanted you to have kids by this age, and they wanted you to go do certain things maybe the same way that they did it. Usually it's the same way that they did it. That's why they try to condition you to do it. And then you find yourself living somebody else's life. Has any of you ever been in this situation where you feel like you're living the life of someone else who was influential? Maybe you're living your parents' life, or maybe an older brother or sister, or maybe just the people in your community. They all lived a certain way, so now you feel like you got to do it. Or they bought a house by this age, so now you feel like you got to buy a house. Or they got this kind of job, so you feel like you got to get a job. They went to this certain kind of college, so you feel like you got to do it. They started a business, so you got to start a business. They had this kind of career, so you feel like you got to do it. This is how a lot of people end up self-sabotaging, because you are trying to live up to the expectations that other people have of you. And they may have even been explicit about it, especially if it's your parents. They may be very explicit about it. Like, yo, we want you to marry. They might want you to marry somebody from the same culture as you. So if you're Asian, they want you to marry an Asian. If you're black or white, they want you to marry somebody who's black or white, or somebody who has the same kind of career, or they got to make a certain amount of money. And you feel like if you don't do that, you're letting them down. And because they raised you, you feel kind of in conflict, because you want what you want, that you're thinking in your brain, but they want you to do something different. And then there's this conflict, because you're like, if I don't do what they want, then I'm gonna be letting them down. I'm gonna be disappointing them. There's gonna be a conflict. And now you're thinking this, but your brain is telling you this, and you got this message over here, this message over here. So it's kind of like you have different, you got an angel and the devil on each shoulder. And this is how we end up self-sabotaging, because now you can't go 100% either way. So if you try to do what's going to please these people, you're doing it halfway. And if you try to do what you want to do, you're doing that halfway. So now you got self-sabotage. So now what happens is you probably end up in a therapist's office, which you should. It's not a bad thing. You end up in therapy because you need to reconcile this, because you have two different ideas that are in conflict with each other and you don't know which one to go with. This is another reason why people self-sabotage, is that you are not 100% clear on what you want. And even if you are 100% clear on what you want, you are not 100% confident in it, because you know that going after what you want might disappoint some people who you care about. So even if you don't agree with what your parents want for you, doesn't mean you don't care about your parents, right? Even if you don't want to do what everybody in your neighborhood did, doesn't mean you don't want to be cool and on good terms with the people from your neighborhood. You might want to do something different. At the same time, you don't want to disappoint those people, and you don't want them to be disappointed in you. So now you're kind of like trying to please both sides at the same time, but it's impossible because they want two completely different things. And this leads to self-sabotage. So this is the second reason. And if you have this kind of issue, the number one thing I would suggest to everybody is you might need to go, you probably should go get yourself some therapy. Go get a therapist and talk to somebody who can kind of let you talk through and reconcile these conflicts. And then once you've gone through that, go talk to the people who you may be disappointed and let them know, look, you had your life, but this is my life. Mom, dad, you had your way. This is my way. I want to do things this way. And they got to be okay with that. And you got to be an adult about it. I'm assuming all of you are adults. This message is for adults. And you got to be an adult about it and let them know, look, my path is different from your path. I appreciate everything you did for me, but I'm going to go my way because that's what I want to do. But you got to get clear on that, so that you can make these moves and do things differently if that's exactly what you wanted to do. Let's move on to point number 3. We're going to take 5 more minutes here. Number 3, why people self-sabotage is your fear of what's on the other side. Another reason why people self-sabotage is because you think about, or you start to project in your mind that if and when you do the thing that you want to do, you're afraid of what's going to happen when you get there, when you get to that other side. So this is like, for example, people talk about fear of failure, but this is fear of success. So what if I do make a whole lot of money? I remember once I was in this group one time and I was talking to these kids. They were like 8th graders, 7th and 8th graders, years back. And we were talking about money and business and stuff like that. And I'm an entrepreneur. So I was asked to speak to these kids, and some of these kids were like, oh yeah, I want to make money in life, but I don't want to make too much money, because if I make too much money, then people are going to think I'm a bad person, and people are going to come after me, and I'm going to be getting attacked and sued, and somebody might try to steal money from me. And I'm like, these kids are like 12, 13 years old. I'm like, where did you learn this? Who taught you this? Who taught you that having a lot of money is going to cause all these different kinds of problems? And they didn't have any money. I mean, and these kids weren't from some rich suburb. I'm like, where did y'all get these ideas from? And this is the kind of thing that happens with people, is that we project in our minds what's going to happen when we get to a certain outcome. And then if we're afraid of what may happen when we get to the outcome, we never push ourselves as far as we can to get to the outcomes. We're afraid of what might happen on the other side. Now, here's where human beings separate ourselves from animals, is that we can project into the future and we can look back into the past, and we can assume or think about what else is happening other than what's happening right now in front of us. So we can rationalize, and we can see things that animals can't see. So an animal, like any of you have a dog or something like that, they can only think about the moment. They can only react to what's happening right now in the moment. That's why if you have a dog and you go and take the trash out and leave the dog in the house, and then you come back in, the dog is excited when you walk back in the house, as if because they didn't realize that you were just taking the trash out and you'd be right back in 30 seconds. Whereas a human doesn't even react when you take the trash out, because they know that you're coming right back in. But as human beings, we can think about what happened 10 years ago. We can think about what's going to happen in 10 years. And when we're here right now, we can think about what else is happening in this moment that we can't see. No other animal can do this. So because we have this ability to project into the future, sometimes we can think about what's going to happen. And if we are afraid of anything that may happen in the future, we will keep ourselves from actually doing the thing that's going to lead us there. So you won't make more money because you're afraid that you're going to have to pay taxes, or somebody's going to try to sue you, or somebody's going to think you're a bad person because you got money, or that your family's going to think you're better than them because you got more money than they got. So then you stop yourself from making money. So then you don't do as well as you could do in school because the other kids are going to think you're a nerd because you got good grades. These are some of the ways that we self-sabotage, because we project that our future success is going to make us look bad or feel bad in the eyes of others, or even in our own eyes. And this stops us from achieving our success. Now, I got another call that I got to get on in 2 minutes. So I'm not going to go any deeper into this, but I can go a lot deeper into this topic. But for everybody who likes what I'm talking about so far, I have a daily masterclass. It's called Work on Your Game. It's on the podcast apps. It's called Work on Your Game. I'll put the link to it right here. So any of you want, like what you heard so far here today, just go to this link right here. It's workonyourgamepodcast.com. My show is on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud. Y'all know all the places to listen to podcasts. I do this every single day, free of charge, on the podcasting apps. And I go deeper than what you heard right here. And let me see if I can address a couple comments. I got like literally 1 minute, and then I'm going to wrap this up. Any of you who I can help directly, send me a text message at that number you see right there, 305-384-6894, or send me a DM. I'd be happy to help you or direct you towards where you can get some help. Somebody said, what if my manager doesn't like me? Get a new job or start your own business and you be the manager. Tyree, appreciate you, man. Jesse said, I'm going to live my own life. Appreciate you, Mel. Joyful Peace. Appreciate that. Let's say 2484. I need to change my life. Send me a DM or send me a text. Question is, what if you can't afford to go to a therapist? Well, if you got a phone, you can afford something. You can afford something. I don't know if you can't afford it. You got something. So everybody, I got to wrap this up. I got a call. I got to get on right now. This is business. So I do these lives every Monday, every Thursday, guaranteed, usually more often than that as well. So y'all stay tuned. Hit me in a DM or send me a text message if I can help any of you with anything that I didn't get to address here today. But I will be doing these lives more often. And just make sure you got your notifications on for when I post, because I deliver this kind of level every single day. My show's been coming out every single day since 2016. I have over 2,300 episodes, and it's a solo show, so there's no interviews. So if you like listening to me, just straight me, that's what is on my podcast every day. It's called Work on Your Game. Go look it up. Start listening to it right now. Everybody have a great Thursday. Work on your game. We out of here.